What's up, man? Boy Warbucks back again. And you're now tuned into the real review. Excuse my voice, I'm a little bit under the weather. Been drinking hot tea, lemon, and honey. Trying to get my voice as best as I can back to normal for you guys. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't gonna let that stop the show. Just got out of the theaters from seeing Star Wars, Mandalorian and Grogu. Um, Starring Pedro Pascal as the voice of Mandalorian. You know, written by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, directed by Jon Favreau. Man, these guys are keeping Star Wars alive, man. They the heartbeat. They keeping it going, breathing life into the Star Wars saga. And so super appreciative for them and everything they're doing with the Mandalorian show, the movie, and Andor, the show, which is really, really great. Um, but yeah, man, so, we need more great Star Wars representation in Hollywood, more great shows. So we're appreciative for these guys for making the movie. So, this is a good movie. I enjoyed it, so the movie originally starts off with like a group of guys sitting in a room. Oh, by the way, the movie has a really good score. Really good score. Shout out to Ludwig Goran. If you don't know him, you should. Really, really talented music producer. Scored all of Ryan Coogler's movies. He also is like the main right-hand man producer of Childish Gambino. If I'm not mistaken, he's produced on like all his projects, almost all of them, if not all of them. Super talented. Did the Black Panther one, which is another Ryan Coogler, so obviously he's done all of his. But I saw his name in the credits at the beginning of this movie. And there's hip hop elements throughout this movie, and that's kind of where he comes from, dealing with Childish Gambino. So we getting dope hip hop production within Star Wars, which is fire. You know what I'm saying? Two things I love. We got hip hop mixed with Star Wars. You can't go wrong with that. So, but anyway, so the movie starts off with a guy in a room full of guys in a council. Kind of looks like Andor, some political things. And he's going crazy in there. He's telling them, hey, we did this, but I'm gonna have to go head up with y'all, with how much y'all are paying. And then one of the guys is like, what? We're in the middle of a whatever. You know what I'm saying? This doesn't make sense that we have to pay more when things are in turmoil and it's not our cause of it. So the head guy, he gets his gun and just shoots that guy and says, anybody else got any problems? And it just goes to show you how bad of a person he is, that he would go ahead and just kill one of his guys just for raising a question about some things that made sense within the team. Don't nobody say anything. But then tension piles because now somebody's coming to get them, and it's Mando. Mando is at full alert. He coming in. They show him like shooting, killing different people. And then he, the other guy says, yo, I need y'all to provide me cover. He throws everybody guns. They looking real uncomfortable because honestly, these guys are not gangsters. These are sitting at the council type guys. These not killers. He the only one up there that's leading the thing that sounds like he got a history of really letting that thing go. So that fire. So anyway, Mando gets in the room. Everybody throw their gun on the floor. He kills a bunch of guys, and then the other guy, he goes out of a little side compartment, whatever, in the room, and goes, and Mando follows him out the little side compartment, chasing after this big bad guy. Clearly, obviously, he's on a hunt. He's a bounty hunter, and he's on a job. And so Mando, chases after him, and we get some nice little action because now once he gets out there, the guy's in this big ship flying around. He's in these two big ships, not ships, but they're like the little robot looking things with the four legs. You know what I'm saying? And you see these things in Empire Strikes Back and other Star Wars things, but the little four-leg little robot things that be moving, look like a little animal robot walking. And so there's two ships out there, and so Mando, he on foot giving these guys work. I'm talking about he killing guys on top of the ship. Like, Mando looks way more prepared. Like, through the first 4 seasons of this show, Mando is dope. He's good at what he does, but he's also evolving and going through growing pains and learning how to be a better Mandalorian and a better warrior. When you get to this movie, it's clear he is like advanced. Like, he's way more advanced than any other of the seasons I've seen in this movie. He is cleaning work. Like, he's single-handedly taking down the whole freaking big, huge freaking robot by himself, jumping on top. And it's just a really, really dope little action scene that we get to start the movie off to let you know, hey, this movie finna have a lot of action in it. Most movies, the beginning of the movie, writers and directors try to give you a scene to kind of give you an idea of what you're getting into right off top. And so anyway, he does that. I mean, cleaning house, action. He takes down both ships. The other guy kind of like takes off into another plane, and Grogu is with him. Another guy flies in, and this guy works for the New Republic, and so it's clear that's who he's doing this job for, Mandalorian. Mando, he works for the New Republic. He does little jobs for them. And so anyway, it gets to the point where he's in this ship and there's like bombs ticking behind him, and Grogu is there with him, and he's trying to tell him, hey, these bombs about to go. He's like, I know, but I gotta get this shot off. And so he sees the guy, he finally gets the aim, he shoots him, then with Grogu on him, he flies out with his little cannon out the back. And then the whole thing just blows up. We get this cool scene. He shoots the ship down and kills the main villain at the beginning of the movie. He kills him dead. And so then, they go back in. They get back in the ship. The guy tells him, it's better when you bring them back alive. You know what I'm saying? One bad guy can lead us to another bad guy. And so, so Mando was like, yeah, I tried, but things got a little crazy. And so anyway, they fly back to a base for the New Republic, and we get Sigourney Weaver, the legendary Sigourney Weaver actress, starred in the classic Alien franchise. She's there, a group of other men, and this is obviously the person that he goes and talks to get his jobs that he does, and he gets there. She's like messy, and so he's like, things went left. I had to do what I had to do, and so payment for this next job, she decides to give him a ship to use in his next job that she's about to give him, and she tells him that she wants him to go hunt down a guy that's assumed to be dead, and they don't even know what he looks like. And so he's like, what? I don't even got a lot to go on. I need more. So then he tells him that she wants him to do this job for the Hutts because the Hutts know where this guy is, because this guy has kidnapped his nephew. And it's these two twin Hutts. And so at first, Mando doesn't want to do it. He's not with it. He doesn't really the Hutts are gangsters, and he refers to them as that. They're criminals. He don't want to work with them. And so, he refuses to do it, but he takes a look at that ship. He goes to the ship. The guy shows it to him. This alien guy that works for the New Republican that was working with him on the job. And he ends up taking the job. Grogu gets in there and starts playing with the machine. And right off the back, my brother made a good point that he kind of wishes that Grogu kind of grew up more, did more things. It feels like maybe they're like slow poking or dragging out his progress up under Mando. And so maybe they are, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so they take the ship and they go do the job. But before they go do the job, they go meet with the Hutts to get the information they need to find the guy that they're trying to find. And, he agrees to do the job. He agrees to save their nephew. They tell him where to go. He goes there, and he immediately goes to this little place to get some food for Grogu and to get information to find the nephew. And so he pays him more money on top of money just to get the information. The little, it's like a little monkey-looking guy, which, by the way, that's Martin Scorsese voicing the little monkey. I didn't look this up. I just know Martin Scorsese's voice. I just recognized his voice. And I was like, oh, shoot, that's Martin Scorsese. And I seen him in the credits. So I knew Martin Scorsese's Sigourney Weaver, legendary director, playing a small role in Star Wars. I'm sure he's a fan like a lot of us are. And so, but anyway, the monkey tells him everybody knows who he is. He's a riot. And then he points over to the screen and he sees he's over there. Grogu and Mando. Grogu, got his little food or whatever. But they go and then they go to the little fighting area. And it clearly doesn't look like he's being held captive by anybody. He's in a ring fighting guys, beating them up. He's huge. And so, they go, they have a talk with him and like, yo, I'm here to bring you back home to your uncles. And then he tells him he doesn't want to go back. He says those guys don't like him because he's held to the throne of Jabba the Hutt. Now, if you know the history of the Mandalorian, you know that it's believed in the OG Star Wars that is how Boba Fett died in episode 6. But of course, we find out later he doesn't die because he comes back in The Mandalorian. But there's a lot of like great little Star Wars gems within this in this movie, which is great. You know what I'm saying? It's always great to pay a little fan service, a little homage to the classic thing that brought us here to Star Wars. And so, but yeah, he says he's happy where he's at. He's getting a fight. He's making his own name, making his own bones, which I can respect. But so he still has a job to do. So what Mando does, he goes and talks to the guy that has set up the fights for him, and he has a talk with him to try to see if he can get him he tries to pay him to let the guy go. And the guy's like, no. He was like, he got one more fight left. And Mando's like, that's exactly why you should just let him go. I can pay you enough money for the one fight just to let him go with me, come with me. And then he's like, no. He's like, I'm setting up a huge payday where this is his last fight, and he's gonna fight to the death. We're gonna make sure we kill him. I'm gonna send enough people out here to make sure he don't ever come back. And so now he knows the fight is fixed. He leaves, he goes, he sneaks into the cell to tell the nephew this joke. He tells him that, and then the guy still rejects him. He doesn't believe him. And then he tells the guards to show up, and then, guards, he came back. Then there's smoke. Mando passes out, Grogu passes out, and then when Mando wakes up, he's laying on the floor by himself, and he gets up, he walks out into the arena, and here he is to fight, you know, here he is to fight the nephew, person that he's here to bring home and save. So the guy goes and he goes into the ring to fight, and you know, he's literally on defense, like, yo, I'm here to save you, blase, blase. But you know, he ends up fighting back a little bit, and he sees Grogu up in the cage. They got a bird dancing around him while he's up in the cage, and Mando wins, but then he yields to let him win, and then he says, yo, let him go, I yield, free him. And then he goes, all right, well, he's free to die. Then he starts sending in all these monsters to attack, and Mando and now the nephew have to fight off all these guys to beat him. And we get, you know, a dope little action scene with all them fighting monsters. It's really, really dope, great action. And, you know, they beat all the monsters. At some point, they throw one of this little electric animals. They throw him into the electricity field that's keeping him there. It's like this little red electronic field in the whole dome that's keeping him there in the arena. He throws him into it, and it blows up. Then all the aliens now are like, oh, we out here? Well, we free. So they start running out into the crowd, attacking everybody. What's his name's man? He, oh, you know what? I forgot. There was also the scene when he goes to meet this guy, man, there's a bar fight. When he goes to meet the head guy, he has to get into a whole bar fight over that. And he has to go back to see Martin Scorsese's character again, the little monkey guy. And he's scared of him, like, and he has to get from him where to go to get him at. And he asks where does he go to meet this guy. I forgot all about that. But anyway, so all of that leads up in there. It's not super important, but it's just another entertaining factor. The story, the little bar fight, where he kind of roughs up the number 2 guy to the guy who basically has the nephew in his arena. But anyway, so they break out. The nephew and him, they break out. All the guys get out, and he runs. They run together. He says, yo, we need to get a ship. You were right, it was fixed. He finds a ship and jumps in and takes off right in front of Mando. He's like, look, man, I'm not going back to my uncles. They're gonna try to kill me. They want my seat at the throne. And so Mando chases after him. The movie relies heavily on CGI because in this world, you got all these aliens and all of this stuff. And that's fine. It doesn't really take away from the story. The CGI doesn't look bad. But, you know, Mando chases after him with the help of the guy, the same alien that helped him at the beginning of the story. Well, no, actually, Mando just chases after him, and the guy actually is on the other side. He traps him. The guy's like, you can't blame me. I had to try to run. And so what he ends up doing is the guy, they get him in the ship. They kind of tie him up. Then, you know, Mando has a talk with him like, yo, you know, I'll let you go through restraints if you promise to behave. And then, you know, he's like, all right, well, where are you going to take me? And so, you know, basically he ends up doing the right thing. Because ultimately I was like, man, turning him back into those guys, if he's trying to get away from them even after he's free from old boy that's having him fight, which he enjoyed, then clearly there's something going on there. But ultimately he ends up letting him go. And then he goes back to Sigourney Weaver. Well, actually, no. He has a talk with him, and the guy tells him Cause he's like, yo, I gotta take you back to my uncle's. I got a job to do. And then the guy tells him, hey, the, he tells him the full job that he's trying to get this guy. And then he goes, oh, I know the guy. He's like, the guy is this guy. And then he's like, well, why would I believe you that he's this guy? And then he says, you know what I'm saying? I can't remember what he told him to get him to trust him, but he did. He trusted him. And that guy that they were looking for the whole time turned out to be the guy that had him enslaved, that betrayed him. And so they basically went to his house. He described his house. He said it's full of stormtroopers. And so it's Mando, it's Grogu, it's the nephew, and then it's the alien guy that works for the New Republic. And it's just them, and they gotta go in, take out all these stormtroopers, and get this guy back and bring him back to the New Republic. And so Mando, I don't know how he does it, but he's slick, man. He just pops up in the house somewhere, kills a whole bunch of dudes. He gets help from the alien and the nephew, and they get him. They get the guy. This is the main reason why they even here. The nephew is really just a side mission to get to him. And so, so they bring the guy back to Sigourney Weaver. And Sigourney warns him. He was like, the Hutts are gonna be mad about this. You made a deal with them. And he's like, man, they're criminals. He's like, they can go to HELL for all I care. You know what I'm saying? They let go of the nephew and they just captured the guy that the main mission was. He was like, but you missed out on all that money they was gonna pay you. He was like, I'm good without it. And so all money ain't good money. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably the lesson you can learn from that. Cause them dudes are criminals. The Hutts, they always been known to be shiesty. And the nephew seemed like he was a good dude. So I feel like Mando did the right thing. So Mando and Grogu go back to the house. And then next thing you know, something happens. And Mando's outside and he's aware, I believe a bounty hunter is there to get him. And I mean, it's pretty clear that they sit by the Hutts because he didn't honor his deal. And so he tells, actually he needs work done on the ship. So he orders in these little mini guys to come in and work on the ship. And they're at the house with him and Grogu. And so he has Grogu and them go hide under the house while he goes to deal with the thing. But he goes for a trap. When I seen this, I was like, this is obviously a trap. Because the guy runs into the house, he throws a smoke grenade, then runs out and starts running. And he goes straight for the trap and runs after him. Then he gets stuck in this little electrocuted thing. He gets electrocuted on the ground. And then he takes Mando, the bounty hunter. He takes Mando, puts him in his ship, and flies him all the way to where the Hutts are. The two Hutts, the uncles of the nephew. They done sent the nephew off in the ship. And there was a scene where they actually show somebody looking at them through like binoculars, watching this whole thing play, watching them go off in the ship and all that. And so when they bring him back, the Hutts confront him like, we made a deal, you didn't honor the deal. And Mando stands on what he did. And he sees they got the nephew up in the corner, they got him in the grips. And the guy's like, basically like, they're torturing him. And he's like, yeah, thanks to you, he has to suffer for the rest of his life. He was like, they live a long time, just like your little friend, referring to Grogu. And so, meanwhile, I think in another scene, they show Grogu and the little guys, they get on their little power bike and then they get into a ship and they fly to go save Mando, which is really, really cute, really, really dope. Grogu does what he does in the show all the time. He's just like the little cute, funny looking, little mini baby Yoda, which I think it's been established that he's not Yoda descended. I don't know how, he looks exactly like him. But anyway, so yeah, so they drop Mando down into the water, and we get a good pay to homage scene to the OG Star Wars when Luke Skywalker and Han Solo fall into the water, and there's like this swamp monster down there, and they got on the stormtrooper suits, and so Mando is in there battling these these little this little snake alien, this huge snake alien down there, and Grogu shows up with the little things and to save him, and they drop a bomb on the little cage. Mando sees him. Mando fights the thing. He doesn't destroy it, but the bomb blows up and it causes he tells the Grogu and them to get out of there because the bomb is gonna blow up. So they run, but the bomb causes a big enough explosion that causes the water to rush through the hole out towards them, and Mando jumps in the water and it pushes him out the hole as well right after them, and they escape going down this little water tunnel. This is a very fun, nice little action movie. And so Mando tells them to run to the ship while he holds them off so they don't chase after him. Oh, and this is important. Almost forgot this. When he was fighting the little alien thing down the water, he gets cut, and they tell him that is poisonous. So he tells them to run, go get in the ship and leave, and we see Grogu and the little things get in the ship while he goes out and fights off all the men that's chasing after him. He beats all of them only to fall to the floor, and it looks like Mando might die here. He's laying on the floor. He has this little cut that's poisonous in his body. And as he's laying there, we see all these bugs crawl up on him, and then the scorpion's like about to sting Mando, and Grogu shows up and eats the little scorpion. By the way, Grogu has a nice little bonding moment with the nephew. When they go see him in the jail, he's like feeding him. So there's a nice little nurturing bond there. There's a lot of feel good, little emotional moments in this movie with Grogu and people. It's just like a little teddy bear, like a little sweet little thing that they play in there. And so, but anyway, so Grogu just doesn't leave him. Like, it looks like he left him, but he stays. It helps. And so he goes and he builds like this little dirt tunnel to hide him under. First, he hides him under some trees, some leaves to hide him from the people looking for Mando, because more people are sent by the Hutts to go find him. And then he builds like a little dirt tunnel, uses power to push his whole body in there. They always show you little glimpses to show you how powerful he is. Just building that little mud cover for him and then push his body, man. That metal that he has is very, very strong. By the way, there's a scene where they took off Mando's helmet back in the thing to shame him. And he said, well, he's like, not if I kill everybody in this room, then it won't be a shame, because he's not supposed to show his face. And when they take off his mask, we see his face. And I'm not sure the show if they've ever showed his face. I know his mask has came off before, but I'm not sure if they ever, I think the camera may never showed his face. He might have used something else to cover it besides the mask before. But this might be the first time they've ever actually showed his face on camera, Pedro, in the movie. For a brief period of time, but he does get his helmet back in the little swamp thingy fighting the swamp monster. And so, but anyway, he gets out, and so Mando is passed out. You know what I'm saying? We don't know if he gonna die, what he gonna do. But while Grogu is there, Grogu gets hungry, and he decides to go out, and he finds this little alien guy just chilling, sitting out in his little spot by the river, and he's cooking like this little fish. He's got fish hanging up on the fire. So he goes and takes him one of the little fishes. He steals one when he's not looking and he eats it. And then he tries to come back again another time, and a little bug bites him and puts him in his mouth. And then he the little alien helps him out by hitting the little thing, and he spits out Grogu. And then he goes, you must be the little thing that just stole my fish. And so Grogu goes in, he talks to him, and he lets him eat some more fish, treats Grogu well. And then Grogu, I think the bounty hunter and his dog shows up. And when he shows up, Grogu goes to hide, and the dog kind of like sniffs him out, but the bounty hunter and the alien, they kind of stop him from going too far to get into Grogu, and they leave. And then the alien tells Grogu he knows about his other friend and that he got hit by a poisonous, snake monster or whatever. And so then he gives Grogu he puts this little thing together, this concoction to heal him, so he won't die from the poison. But he's like, it might be too late. You might have to say goodbye to your friend. Really good dude to just do that, because he really this wasn't gonna benefit him at all to help him, a complete stranger like that. And so he gives him the little antidote. Grogu takes it, and he takes it out, and he goes and applies it. He feeds it to Mando as he is instructed by the alien. I don't know who voiced this alien, but it sounded like a black dude. But anyway, so Grogu feeds Mando the stuff, and Mando wakes up like the next morning, and then he has a talk with Grogu, like, hey, we can either run, or they'll always chase after us the way they went after their nephew, or we can go take them down and kill them, and that way we don't have to worry about them anymore. And of course, they choose to go fight, and so they do. They go in, they fight, they kill all the people to get to the huts, the two twins. They rescue the nephew. The nephew helps them by fighting them, and then the nephew is fighting them. Mando's fighting them. We get all this great action at the end of the movie, and then all three of the huts, the nephew and the two uncles, fall through that same contraption that Mando fell in earlier in the movie, down where the swamp monster is. And Grogu uses his power to lift him up out of that contraption, leaving the two twins down there. But also who falls down there is the bounty hunter and his dog. And the huts ask the bounty hunter to help them, but he just leaves out with his dog. He just runs out the side, and then the snake monster kills both of the huts. But Mando, the nephew, and Grogu are still trapped in there with a bunch of men still coming in the building. And as they're in there, the little things, they kind of get caught up in this. The little things that came to fix the ship, one of them get taken by the wolf of the bounty hunter, and he gets brought along with Mando, which I forgot to mention. But so anyway, they left off in the ship when Grogu decided to stay to help Mando, and they came back. They brought back the New Republic with them to help. Bunch of ships come in, and then they radio in. Sigourney Weaver's flying in, and she radios to Mando, and we get this great victory music. Man, this score throughout this whole movie is just really, really dope. Ludwig did his thing for sure. So, but anyway, so they fly in to save the day, and they radio Mando, and Mando tells them to fire right where his location is. And he's like, I can't give that order. He's like, it's fine. We'll be gone by the time you do it. Just do it. So they flying in on their ships. Mando is shooting the guys. He kind of like keeps them there, like kind of holds them off, while the nephew and Grogu go and run out to the exit, and then Mando holds them off. Then he comes to. They get to the end of the tunnel, and right when they get there, Sigourney Weaver radios Mando to warn him. He's like, "Yo, I hope y'all gone, cause we about to blast it right now. We about to blast it right now. So please be gone." And so Mando tells him to jump, but like they kind of scared to jump. The nephew's scared to jump because it's so high. And then eventually they jump, and when they jump, of course, the thing blows up right behind them as they're flying down. We get the cool little action scene of them flying down, dropping down into the water as it blows up. And you know, and then the little alien dude shows up, and Mando's like, "Yeah, what took you so long?" And so they fly back to the base. And, you know, Mando questions Sigourney Weaver about saving him because he's just an independent contractor. But Sigourney Weaver looks at him as more than that. And, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, of course, we can't end the movie without Mando saying, you know, "This is the way," which is an epic tagline, well-known thing that Mando does. I can't remember the exact quote or what he said right before he says it, but it was just really, really awesome. I think he might have said something about, you know, "We gotta fight, this is the way." But it was just a good movie, entertaining, a lot of action, dope story, fun. You know, Grogu does what Grogu does best. Mandalorian is in rare form, kicking behind, blowing stuff up. That's the end of the movie. I believe that the nephew decides to stay and work with the New Republic, and all is right in the world. You know what I'm saying? And so I really enjoyed this movie. I really did. I'm a big fan of the show. Wasn't sure how good it was gonna be going in it. Been hearing it was mid or not that good, but this movie turned out to be good. You know what I'm saying? Just as good as some of the seasons are. And so a lot of action, dope story. I'm gonna go ahead and give this movie a popcorn bucket score, 4 popcorn buckets out of 5. Yeah, man, I recommend y'all go see. If you're a fan of Star Wars, if you're a fan of Mandalorian, more likely you're already up here to see it. But to the casual fans that probably just think it's just another Star Wars movie, hey, I recommend this too. It's fun. It's something you can bring your kids to go see. Highly recommend this movie. 4 popcorn buckets out of 5. This is the real review. I'm just a guy that loves to talk about film, movies, TV shows. Stay tuned, guys. Be some TV shows coming, more movies coming. We hitting the summer, so a bunch of movies about to start coming out. I'm excited for. So this is the real review. I'm out.